and switch over to it. So, spawning in the upper right here on Altazim's Stronghold, we have playing as our pink Zerg for Outset Gaming, TheDaftOne. And spawning in our lower right location, we have playing for Chobo Team 6, our Orange Terran, Spoom. So Altazim's always a nice big map. Tends to lead towards good long macro games. Not always, but often. It's always good when we see those. So we got the TheDaftOne's Overlord actually headed in the right location for once. So he's going to know pretty quick where Spoom is. And Spoom's going to know pretty quick where he is, unless the Overlord can turn a 180 really fast. Overlords do out-vision many things. Buildings, most units. In fact, the Mothership Core now only has as much visual range as an Overlord since the latest patch. However, this was actually played before that patch. Not that it matters, this is Zerg versus Terra. And the one thing that might matter is that the Hydralisk upgrade, whereas they got a little bit better attack speed, is not the case here. But most times that isn't going to matter, especially against Terran that goes bio. We don't know whether Spoom's going to go bio yet, but he most likely is going bio, as we're seeing completely gasless builds so far. So he sends an SCV up to see what's up. He sends an SV in the right location, so... And what's interesting is that this Overlord that was headed in the right direction, actually, it's kind of sat in the middle of the map. The SCV coming in does indeed confirm hatch first. As I bet is a surprise to absolutely no one, including Spoom. He does have an Overlord going across the wrong way now. Spoom has a CC being built on location already, and is finally taking his first gas after having that completed. And made exactly one Marine. The second Marine is on the way though. The TheDaftOne's queens are about to come out. It's pretty soon. Making a few lings for early scouting. Spoom continuing to send that SCV around to probably confirm third base timing and otherwise check for any odd shenanigans. Not that you see odd shenanigans from Zerg in random places very often. You can, but it's pretty rare. Two lings starting to hop across the map. Overlord has confirmed the location of the base, and that there is indeed a second CC at the natural. But these lings are just going to kind of go and confirm there's no weird things going on over here. It'd be pretty odd if there were. I have seen ninja bases and things like that, but it's pretty rare. So this SCV is going to head back in and see what it can see. And what's it going to see? Well, it's going to see speeds on the way. And find a queen. Gas is continuing to be taken from exactly one geyser. And it is going to confirm that the third hatchery is on the way. Oh no, I have no idea what these two lings are here for. Kind of curious about that, actually. But anyway, we got this Overlord headed across the map, pushing away that SCV. SCV just kind of hanging out. Finally deciding to run as it has like 5 hit points remaining. Yep, 5. I know the damage of queens. I've watched too much StarCraft. So these lings are now actually heading back where Spoom's base is. This one, being in just the right place at the right time, amusingly, it actually gets to prevent the third from landing. Speed is just finished for them, too. However, it isn't going to prevent the third from landing for very long, as a few Hellions and Marines are there to clean up those 2 lings. So we are going to see a number of Hellions. We got 2 more Hellions out of this factory now. Starport on the way, as well as an armory. We might actually be seeing mech. Considering that early of an armory timing and nothing being researched at the... Yeah, another factory's doing that. We're going mech today, kids. You don't see mech all that often, but it's fun when we do. Also seems a pretty good map for mech, too. The main problem you actually have is when meching versus Zerg, they have so many bases to take. But you'll often get 4 or 5 bases, which is often enough to keep a mech Terran in the game for a long time. So these first Hellions are heading across the map with a few Marines. Probably the only Marines we'll see. Plus 1 vehicle weapons on the way. Plus more Hellions. And a Banshee. No cloak, just a Banshee. Up there's cloak. So we're going to see cloak Banshees, we're going to see Hellions, and we're going to see a lot of mech. And in the meantime, we have a Spire coming down, plus 1 melee attack. Those are not exactly the best thing to have versus mech. Spire is always useful, doesn't matter who you're playing. Now we've got a Baneling Nest coming down, ton of Zerglings. But he hasn't scouted that it's mech yet, because his Overlords are just kind of hanging out over here and not scouting down here. So he's building to play against Bio, and he's going to be fighting mech. This may not go well for him. We do see 1 more Marine being made. Almost curious as to why. Thor on the way, Medevac on the way. It's always good to have a Medevac. You always do drop play. Another starport on the way. Random SCV kind of hanging out. Only had 5 HP earlier. Yeah, he still only has 5 HP. He's just kind of hanging out over in the corner. So this SCV, this Medevac is now loaded up some Hellions and is gonna go have some fun with some drops. In the meantime, Blue Flame is just about done, so those are going to be Blue Flame Hellions that are going to be dropped somewhere in the Zerg base. At least if they can get down. Which I'm wagering they'd be able to. Because I don't think there's any Mutalisks yet. Now I think the mech has been figured out by now by the Zerg player. They do have a Roach Lord on there. Now these Blue Flame Hellions do get a few drone kills before the Zerglings overwhelm them, but they just jump back into the medevac before dying. Not a single unit is lost. At least not for the Terran player. A few of the Hellions there are pretty low, but they'll get repaired up back home. player throws down a few scans. You often see more scans from a mech player than you would from a bio player for two reasons. One, it's a little bit harder for mech to scout. Two, and almost more importantly, those minerals matter a lot less for the mech player. As gas is what you really want as a mech player, and it's only minerals you're throwing away by using scans to scout. Anyway, we also have a fourth base in the way for our Zerg player. Interesting to see the overlords kind of hanging out way back there. Might not be that good of an idea if we see a lot of Vikings, which we probably will, because we're playing mech. +2 attack coming on the way, as well as +1 armor for our Terran player, as well as a few more factories. And that is a lot of roaches. And 30 roaches just popped. 1-1 for the roaches is about halfway done as well. So our Zerg player is ready to fight mech. The problem we'll actually have right now is there's still no real answer to Banshees, but Hellions aren't really that good against roaches. The blue flame doesn't do anything against roaches at all. In fact, none of this is very good against roaches. Except for the Banshees. These wings pretty much died against them. But the TheDaftOne knows that they're not that useful anyway, so you may as well do what you can. He does actually get a few Hellions on the way out at the cost of the rest of the wings. But the roaches, not fast enough to chase, even though they do have roach speed. Hellions are a lot. No, there is one siege, but that's not enough to attack the roaches. So these roaches are going to be a problem. They're going to get the third base. Nothing is going to stop that. Tell me good. The SCV is being killed by roaches. That's not going to work out very well. Thor is not great against roaches. That's a lot of roaches. I have no idea why that random really dropped. Maybe we're trying to repair something, but it's not going to work. The roaches are now on top of the production, kicking out everything. Speedlings flooding in to add their DPS. Looks like this might be it. Yep. GG, well played from Spoom, as the TheDaftOne takes the first game for Outset.